Switzerland. On Monday morning, a shooter opened fire in the Swiss alpine town of Sion, killing 2 and wounding 3, according to authorities. A suspect was eventually taken into custody. A local man, 41, and a woman, 34, were the victims. England. Sunday saw the arrest of 2 teenage girls in London on suspicion of robbing and assaulting an Orthodox Jewish woman. The 20-year-old woman's handbag was purportedly stolen by the 13 and 14-year-old girls. Nebraska. At the rectory of St. John the Baptist Catholic Church at Fort Calhoun, during an invasion, the 65-year-old Reverend Stephen Gutzel was attacked. Following his admission, Gutzel died of his wounds at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha. Montana. A woman was detained after repeatedly ramming her car into or through a religious gathering that was holding a demonstration on a sidewalk, injuring one guy. The 45-year-old man who was hit only had minor wounds. Brazil. 9 persons were killed and 8 others were injured in a fire that broke out in a camp owned by the Brazilian Landless Workers Movement (MST) in the northern state of Pará. The incident occurred at approximately 8 p.m. local time when an antenna touched the high-voltage network, causing power cables and some shacks in the rural farmers' camp located in the city of Parauapebas to catch fire. The incident was caused by a short circuit in the electrical network during the installation of Internet wiring in the camp. Peru. Sunday near the coast of central Peru was rocked by an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.8 and a depth of 10 kilometers, 6.21 miles, according to the European Mediterranean Seismological Center. Guyana. Under pressure from a Caribbean economic bloc in neighboring Brazil, the Guyana administration decided on Sunday to participate in bilateral discussions with Venezuela regarding a growing territorial issue. According to President Irfan Ali of Guyana, a meeting will be held on Thursday in the island nation of St. Vincent in the eastern Caribbean to deliberate on the drawing of borders between the two countries. The military chief of Niger stated on national television that his country, together with Mali and Burkina Faso, is considering forming a political and economic alliance. This development could signal a wider break with the West African regional grouping. General Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger stated that the project was one of the reasons for his recent visit to both nations, although he did not provide a date or specifics. Kenya. Kenya experienced a power outage on Sunday night that left much of the nation paralyzed. The country's transport minister demanded an inquiry into possible acts of sabotage and cover-up, in response to the third statewide blackout in 3 months. Numerous essential facilities were impacted by the power outage, including Nairobi's main airport, which serves as a major transportation hub connecting East Africa to Asia, Europe, and other continents. China. Monday saw the suspension of rail and school operations, as well as road restrictions throughout a large portion of northern China due to overnight snowfall. Schools were suspended in Zhengzhou, the provincial capital of Henan, and 2 other Henan cities, as a red alert for a snowstorm was in effect until mid-morning. Up until 11 a.m. the airport in Zhengzhou was also closed. As of 7 a.m. 134 road sections, 95 of which were on highways, in 12 provinces were closed due to snow and icy conditions. In 2 regions of Shaanxi province, multiple trains were halted. Japan. Credit Saison, a credit card issuer, will launch a rental guarantee service for foreigners looking to rent real estate in Japan. One of the main policy goals of the Japanese government is to draw in more talented workers from overseas. The service is anticipated to generate demand among international workers and students when it launches at the end of this year. The administration wants to serve 400,000 foreign students annually. New Zealand. After damaging an exhibit about the Treaty of Waitangi, the founding document of the nation, 12 demonstrators from a Maori activist group were taken into custody at New Zealand's National Museum. A man jumped from above the display at the Te Papa Museum in Wellington, according to the police, and then proceeded to destroy a panel several meters high with an angle grinder and spray paint. The demonstrators were members of Te Waka Horua, an indigenous group from New Zealand who identify as defenders of justice for Maori. Australia. As part of its efforts to reform what it called a «broken» migration system, Australia announced on Monday that it will tighten visa requirements for foreign students and low-skilled workers. This move could cut the country's immigration intake in half over the next 2 years. The new regulations would require foreign students to score higher on English language exams, and they would scrutinize student applications for second visas, which would allow them to stay longer, more closely.